What is going on, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about why most successful men fail at fitness, especially after the age of 35 years old. In 2023, I had a client, his name was Mark. Okay, he was a CEO of a tech company worth over $50 million. And he basically pulled me aside after one of our sessions and he told me something I would never forget. He said, dude, I was in Cabo at this beautiful resort that I paid $2,000 a night for, and my kids wanted me to join them in the pool, but I stayed in the lounge chair because I was too embarrassed about how I looked. I didn't want to take off my shirt. And that's when it hit me. I built everything I've ever wanted, but I couldn't even enjoy it because how I felt about my body, felt in my body. And when I took off my shirt, I just didn't feel proud of that person. I hear stories like this all the time. Super successful men who have mastered their career, built very successful businesses, but can't seem to figure out this one area of their life, their physical health and their appearance. And it's not because they haven't, built out any sort of discipline or commitments. These are just some of the most driven people on the entire planet. The real problem is that they've been following super generic fitness approaches designed for men, nothing like them. Today, I want to share with you three main reasons why successful men, just like you, they struggle with fitness despite crushing it in every single other aspect of their life. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly how to fix each one based off what I've learned with working with executive, professional athletes, over 1,200 athletes at this point, and being the physical therapist for the UFC at one point in my career. So the first problem is there is a complete mismatch with your biology. Here's something that nobody ever talks about, especially when you're after the age of 35. Your body just works differently, meaning your testosterone drops around 1 to 2% per year. Your recovery just takes longer. Your cells don't produce energy the exact same way that it used to. But almost every single fitness program out there is designed for 25-year-olds with completely different biology. People who have unlimited time, they can spend hours in the gym. They can count their macros. They can go to the restaurant and like weigh their foods and like be okay, just like, taking clients out and just like weighing everything. But you're different. You gotta take clients out. You don't have that time. You have a family. It's almost like you're trying to run like new software onto a very old computer. Like those big box monitors, 2000s, like those big ones. It's like trying to like, have like a Zoom meeting on that. So I saw one of my clients, his name, we're gonna keep him out. He's 52 years old, also a CEO. And he's tried like six different diets, what's it called? Keto. I'm gonna do carnivore. I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna try intermittent fasting, all these generic diets, right? He's tried so many over the last 5 years. You even got like these like ones where you blow into something and count your metabolic rate. Each one would work for a few weeks until his energy would completely crash. He'd just get super irritable and eventually he would just completely give up. The solution here, guys, is not complicated. It's very, very specific though. Okay. All you need to do to overcome this is strength train 3 times a week. Cut out these long cardio sessions. You can see guys who they ride these bikes and they've got these huge guides and they're part of like the 6-man group, whatever it is, and they go ride bikes for like 8+ hours, and you still look at them wearing tights, they got huge guts. Why? It's because they're not doing the right things. They could ride bikes for 10 hours a day if they wanted to. They're still going to be, and it's so super ineffective, they're still going to have a gut, right? Even these skinnier guys, they got like no muscle mass, nothing on their arms, and they go ride these bikes, they still got like a belly, right? Why? Because they're not doing the right things. They're not strength training. They're not building their metabolic rate, right? So strength training is hyper important. The second thing you're going to do is eat protein first thing in the morning. Okay, 30 to 50 grams per meal, 30 minutes as soon as you wake up. Just get your protein in. Oftentimes, a lot of our guys is just not eating enough protein. The third thing is you need to optimize your sleep. You're not 20 years old. Okay, you're not a 20-year-old anymore. You need to really manage your recovery, especially, in like the UFC. At one point, like it was crazy because all these fighters that would come in, the main thing that separated a lot of these top fighters to anyone else wasn't that they weren't training hard. Obviously, there's a skill element for sure. But the main thing was actually recovery. Those who did not prioritize recovery, you can tell they can't train as well. They're not getting strength gains, not improving muscle mass. They're stressed out, cortisol's through the roof, right? And for one of our clients, all we did in the beginning was just implemented these three super simple things, and his natural T levels just boosted up 83% in about 10 weeks after we actually did blood work without any medication or extreme measures. His energy came back for the first time in years. He could actually stick to a fitness plan because it's very, very simple and it's specific for him, especially for him, right? And for him, like he's tried so many different things. He just tried too many generic stuff. But when he actually had a system that's specific for him, it was easy to follow. He's getting measurable results. The second problem is that your lifestyle makes very traditional approaches very much impossible. Okay. If you're like, working with a bodybuilder, what's probably going to happen is you're going to count your macros, or you're working with a personal trainer on the weekend. You're going to be accustomed to the schedule. You're going to do group workout classes. You got to go to the schedule. You do jumping jacks, burpees, whatever. You look to the right, there's someone that's 300 pounds. You look to the left, there's someone that's like, 180 pounds, whatever it is. Right. Everyone has different plans. Right. But let's just talk about your schedule for a little bit. You have a business. You have business dinners. You have business meetings. You have client meetings. You're building something. You're building a career, right? You have to travel. You have to meet these guys, right? You have 12-hour work days. You have a very high stress job or demanding career, right? Then you have family obligations. Most fitness programs nowadays just assume you have endless time, right? You don't have a lot of stress. And stress is one of the things where cortisol level, if it's through the roof, you can't recover, right? You're going to wake up middle of the night, 4 a.m. You're going to be thinking about work, whatever it is, right? When that happens, like how can you push hard? How can you have the energy to go again and train? You just can't do that, right? These programs are assuming that you have complete control of your entire environment, which is just not your reality. A lot of our clients, they don't have that. And I remember working with one of our clients, he's a managing partner at a law firm, and he was trying to follow a program that wanted him to eat like 6 small meals a day because it boosts your metabolism, which is untrue. You want to work out like 6 days a week. Meanwhile, he was traveling like twice a month, right? So 2 weeks of the month he's traveling. He had client dinners like 3, 4 nights a week. It just was never going to work, but it's not his fault. It was a huge design flaw in his approach. So here's what actually works really, really well for business or busy, just high performing men. They use something what I call a business dining protocol. Basically, they want to prioritize protein for sure, but choose very simple small meals and have a framework for alcohol. Now, when you actually have a framework where we actually work with you to design what is the thing, because each kind of like cutting cycle is what we call it, you have different goals, right? So there's going to be different types of macronutrients you need to hit, certain types of restaurants that you need. So by understanding frameworks, you can now apply these frameworks into your everyday life. So that means that you can go to a restaurant here, you can go to a restaurant here, you go to a restaurant here. There's certain foods that will work best for you. And then we do an analysis to see what is the thing that makes you have the most amount of energy? What's the thing that gets you, burning the most amount of fat? And then it becomes hyper specific for you. Now you have a choice of certain foods that work well in response to your body. And by having this own framework and protocol, it unleashes you. You have certainty in the process because you have the data that supports it. But more importantly, you don't need to like feel so guilty because you literally have built out your own framework that works well for you. The second thing is actually following something I call a minimum effective dose approach for training. 30 to 45 minutes, 3 times a week is going to give you your best bang for return. That means if you don't have a lot of time, 30, 45 minutes, you can get crazy results. You just look at my Instagram page, like crushing it. A lot of these guys train only 3 times a week, 45 minutes. Then you can build something what I call a 10-minute recovery period throughout your day. I call this micro recovery, where you're just able to implement mobility here and there, postural corrections, so that your body is able to recover and you don't get injured. Using just these 3 strategies, one of our clients have lost 37 pounds in 16 weeks while closing 3 major deals that required him to have nightly client dinners for like literally the whole time. The third problem that you're honestly seeing is in general fitness approaches is you're just measuring the wrong things. Most fitness programs focus solely on the scale and the number on the scale going down. But when you look in the mirror, you look at the body recomposition, they look terrible. They don't feel good. There's so many guys out there that lose 30, 40, 50 pounds. but it's all muscle mass. Then they lose this much weight, they eat a little bit, they gain all that weight back. Like, what's the point, right? For us, the real measure of success isn't just weight loss. We don't want to just get you down to 10% and walk around there. We want you to get to 10% body fat, have the energy, have the testosterone, feel amazing in your skin, be a high performer, have all the things dialed for you so that this health side of things, you have the longevity side. People on our program will not think about getting diabetes. It's just not on the cards. The reason why is because when you're training to such a high level and you're pushing the performance side of things, you're not going to see freaking LeBron James thinking about like, oh man, like, I got some cholesterol issues, type 2 diabetes. Like, it's just not in the cards for him. The reason why is because he's pushing that element. He's pushing himself towards performance. The closer you are to the performance side of things, you're not going to think about all these things on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Oh man, my foot might go numb because I'm getting diabetes. I'm gonna have to chop off my foot. Like, that's not in the cards, right? This is really the real measure of success. It's not just weight loss. It's what I call the executive performance triangle, where your energy levels are through the roof. You have mental clarity, no brain fog. You have the physical capacity to withstand anything. You're not going to go up and down stairs and feel tired. In fact, you're going to go up and down stairs and you're going to look to the side, look to the right side. Everyone there is literally on the escalator. You're the only person that's going up and down stairs, and you feel good about it. When you optimize the wrong metric, you implement the wrong strategy. One of our clients, actually, he was an investment banker, and he complained of basically crashing at 2 p.m. every single day. And this is a common thing, actually. Basically, his previous, I guess, like his training facility, had got him focused entirely just on cardio and calories. But he was not fixing the energy problems, like, at all. He didn't really care about the type of foods that's working with him. He didn't actually understand the data. It was just like, hey, just count your macros, eat below a certain calorie goal, and just do cardio. This is the lowest leverage thing you can possibly do ever. And if you think about what a lot of the people that we work with, a lot of the guys that we work with want to optimize. They don't want to just like spend all their time, their resources doing the lowest leverage thing. Yet I see this all the time. I see guys just like cutting out carbs, intermittent fasting, 3 hours of cardio every single day. It is like the hardest way to like lose weight and actually keep your energy high. And the reason why is because of resource allocation. Every single day, you have a finite amount of resource, very finite energy, right? They require these guys all the time, right? So you're pouring water out on all the things that don't matter. So you're just pouring water into cardio. You're going pouring water into like cutting out your food. You're just like stressed. Whereas all you really need to have is 30 to 45 minutes of very intentional things that's going to move the needle forward the most. A lot of our clients here, they really, really want to focus on the highest leverage thing, right? And so for us, we tracked energy levels throughout the day on a simple 1 to 10 scale. And all we did was we just measured to see, how well did this individual focus with this implementation. And we paid attention to how quickly he recovered, the demanding tasks that he had. And just within like 3 weeks, after implementing something that's completely custom, his afternoon crashes just completely disappeared. His team actually noticed a difference in his leadership and decision-making qualities before he even saw any physical changes. So what does this actually mean? The truth is, the same standards that have made you successful in business apply to your physical health. It's not just vanity. It's about alignment. It's when your physical capacity matches your professional capabilities and something truly changes. Your presence becomes stronger. Your energy just lasts way longer. Your impact starts to continue growing. And I've seen this transformation in thousands of men just like you. And it doesn't require a complete lifestyle overhaul or endless hours in the cardio or in the gym. It just requires the right approach for your specific biology. So the people that's going to resonate the most with is this. We want individuals who understand that you cannot get time back. There's two different types of camps of people I've noticed. There's kind of like a DIY kind of guy and then there's the kind of guy that like will want the framework, the blueprint, right? To create the system, to learn from other people's mistakes. Okay. So I'll give you a house analogy. Let's just say you're building a house. Most people watching this video will be person number one, where they're going to source the material, they're going to find the right person, they're going to talk to a few people, they're going to talk to a contractor and be like, hey, what's the best material for like this foundation? Like, what has worked well for you before in the past? Like, what should you actually implement? Like, what are your mistakes? Then you got person number B, other person, Bobby. He'll be like, oh, I'm gonna build a house. And he just goes and chops wood. Just chops wood like right away. He's a quick implementer, right? But then what's gonna happen is you're chopping wood. You don't have that clarity. You're building it up, and then there's a storm that happens, and then your house it doesn't even withstand it. So many people are like this, where they just try to figure things out for their entire lives. They're just trying to look on YouTube. Oh man, this is like the right plan for me. I'll try out this one, I'll try this, and they try so many different things, but they never really have the right system. And so they're trying all these things, making all these mistakes, and then guess what happens? They never really find their solution. Meanwhile, the person A, who we want to work with, they identified they cannot get time back. They want to leverage other people's experiences. They want to leverage other people's time. The time that we put in, 17 years of putting into client servicing, building programs, $300,000 into a physical therapy degree, a UFC Performance Institute experience in the headquarters of Las Vegas, working with all these amazing fighters. The people who really benefit in our program are those who truly understand leverage, that they could probably look up, all these researchers, but they're not going to because that's going to take up so much of their time, their bandwidth, where they can just utilize that, right? Utilize all the mistakes that we've had, avoid those mistakes, implement the right protocol, 3x your energy and your productivity, close $1 million deal, and then you're good. Then you have a system for the rest of your life. These individuals who understand leverage are the people we want to speak with, we want to work with. We like you guys. The DIY type of person who wants to keep figuring things out by themselves, these people end up staying stuck. They're in the exact same spot. They realize even LeBron has a coach, one of the best athletes in the world. He has a strength coach. How much does he spend per year? $1 million. Is he one of the top athletes in the world? Yes, for a reason. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know. And for a lot of the people that we're working with, you don't really fully understand longevity. You don't understand science, data until you come to work with us. So if that resonates with you, if you're person A, where you're like, dude, I don't want to do, 7 years of research. I don't want to look up all the research articles. What's the best thing that's going to optimize my hormones, my metabolism, right? I want you to tell me exactly what to do based on my age, the past mistakes. We want to talk to you. So all I've done is I've created a complete video that walks you through our entire system for busy, high-performing men. Check out the link in the bio to learn exactly how you can start to implement these principles into your life. If you're a DIY Bobby number 2 person, right? Our channel probably wouldn't be appropriate for you because you're just continue looking for things. You're not going to find the right system ever. You're going to just keep trying things. And then by the time you actually find something, it might just be a little too late, right? But if you're client A, where you're like, dude, I want to continue learning more. I want someone to actually help me implement this. If you want more content specifically designed for high performers and you refuse to settle for anything less than excellence, subscribe to this channel and turn on notification, like this video, and send it to another high performer. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll talk to you soon. Later.